What's up, guys? It's Frito here for your Overwatch. Season 12 goes live now, and we've got the patch notes. Season 12 brings Juno, Mythic Reaper, the new Clash game mode with 2 maps, and later in the season, they'll try out the new competitive system Drives, which we spoke about in our recent videos. Pharah and Zarya get hero mastery updates, and in a previous video, we explained the Avoid as teammate update. 15 slots, 3 can be pinned permanently, the other 12 decay similar to the old 3. The spawn system has changed as well to create sort of a dynamic wave respawn system, which also goes into competitive, a longer overall spawn for 12 seconds, but you will get a shorter spawn for yourself if you die within a small window within 6 seconds of the first teammate dying. This is a way to force you to group together and go out of spawn together, which still, 8 years later, Overwatch players are still struggling with fighting together as a team, which makes you much more effective, a concept that was even more brutal when there was an extra tank on the field. I look forward to that returning. The devs explain that this is to reduce the number of one-sided matches, and they decided to put it through to competitive because, as their data has shown, largely just an upside. A bit of the skill of punish killing a stagger spawn goes down a little bit, but ultimately the playability and steamrolls of the game go down, which is probably a net upgrade. There was an update to the shop. You can now try out all the skins in the practice range from the hero gallery or the premium shop. Competitive play and mid-season rank reset. The competitive skill ranks for all players have been reset for Season 12, and you'll need to do 10 placement matches per role. They made some changes so that your predicted rank is more visible during this period, and importantly, placement matches are no longer wide matchmaking, so you can do placements with your friends more easily. Onto the hero updates. The devs comment on the effects of the Giga Tank buffs that happened in Season 11, overstatting the entire tank category. They say a recent patch, which adjusted all tank heroes, saw a significant gain in interest for the role and had a positive lasting effect in queue times for damage and support as well. There are a few additional tuning changes in this update for tanks, but this patch is largely focused on adjusting many of the more mobile heroes in the damage and support role. Mobility is very powerful, and we would like for there to be more of a trade-off for flexibility it brings, especially as we add speed boost abilities by welcoming Juno to the game. We're moving a handful of heroes to a 225 HP maximum, and in some cases increasing potency elsewhere in their kit. So that's the general theme of this patch. The tank power is going to stay. Some squishy mobility hero power goes down, which is going to mean 2 things. Tank power is going to go up again, because there's more targets with lower overall time to kill that you can punish more quickly, so the tank player's dominance probably goes up even more. But another thing to expect is your ability to punish these mobility class heroes with a slightly lower health breakpoint is going to go up. Notably, a character like Hanzo now can one-shot kill many of these new mobility class 225 HP targets, as well as other characters too, like Junkrat, who has a soft place in my heart, as you guys know. Nade Mine will now be able to eliminate this new class of character. Onto the balance changes. D.Va's defense matrix duration goes down back to 3 seconds. The devs say that this buff didn't actually increase her performance that much compared to the frustration it caused the opposing team. I like this change. D.Va being tanky with the buffed armor is enough. Her having offense that matters is enough. I thought you were getting away with murder with D.Va in Season 11. This may not be severe enough because remember, they also increased the effectiveness of her micro missiles. And health on the mobile class of characters goes down, so D.Va's already going to be better at punishing them. Those health breakpoints matter for a character like D.Va because it'll change the lethal range of you diving them. Orisa's energy javelin impact damage goes up to 80. The devs say Orisa's underperforming and they want to reward better accuracy with this ability. The devs seemingly want to keep Orisa in the dumpster, but just not too far down there. No one liked it when she was meta and will seemingly be catching L's for a long time, as really I feel she kind of can't play her position in this new version of the game. I don't necessarily love the direction they've went to make her punishable but have more offense just to try to balance her out. Doesn't make her fun to interact with, but I do think her kit itself has fun buttons to push, though I don't like playing her. Maybe it's time to put her out to pasture. Zarya's secondary fire minimum and maximum damage goes up. Now the range will be 55 to 110. The devs justify this change in saying that it's because her secondary fire didn't gain much from the projectile size buffs from Season 9. This is my favorite part of using Zarya's kit, so I'm happy for this to be better. Now, 2 full charged right clicks will get one of those mobility class heroes down to chip health. Junkrat got a bit of of a strange change where the projectile size is now reduced by half after the second ricochet. However, the projectiles preserve slightly more velocity on ricochet. I think this actually means after the first ricochet, because does it even ricochet twice anymore? They changed that a long time ago. I don't think it bounces multiple times. Am I wrong? Got $110 of Junkrat on quick play. Surely I know this, right? I think mainly this means the dodge ability of the random spam is now easier, but the aim ability of you bouncing shots is now higher. Not sure if this is a net upgrade or not. We'll have to get time playing this to see if this feels better. I do think Junkrat is a menace in quick play and one of the harshest pub stomper DPS characters in the game, as he punishes tanks that move too fast. And then of course his performance is going to fall off a cliff as players learn how to outposition him. Next up is Echo, who now will have a base health of 225, just like Pharah, as she's a mobility class character. Sombra as well goes down to 225, but in stealth gets a bonus movement speed going up to 60% now, and Virus's impact damage goes up to 35. I think overall, I might say this makes her more effective and easier to play because you kind of didn't want to get targeted at all at any point as Sombra anyway. So if you're good at the character, I think she's just more effective now, as speed and damage matters more than her own survivability, which already was bad if you misplayed. Sojourn's railgun gets some changes. The primary fire spread goes from 2 to 1.6 now, a little bit tighter on that. Critical hits now grant 10 energy, and energy degeneration rate has been reduced down to 15 per second after 7 seconds. The devs explained that because they have nerfed the alternate fire railgun portion of her kit long ago, they're trying to put more power back into the primary fire. So now you'll be rewarded for better accuracy with the primary fire. I would say tight spreads on a tank especially, you're going to rack up the railgun much faster. But part of me mourns the death of this character because I think you have to be very skilled to make her look at all more effective than many of the other DPS in the game. If you are a top player, great. But even this change, I don't know, they just sort of had to nerf her down to be like another version of Soldier, as opposed to the railgun sniper class character she was before. This is an example of when you let top 500 players balance the game. You sort of have to be one to even access this character, in my opinion. Still going to be weak for the average player after these buffs. Hanzo's health goes down to 225, which is a little strange because now he counts as a mobility class character. Okay. But the devs explain this because he still has the damage to one-hit kill a lot of characters, especially the new mobile ones, if he can hit a shot. The devs also say this makes Hanzo mirrors more interesting as well because it's easier for them to get a one-hit kill on each other. Remember, of course, Hanzo's arrow at full charge does 240, so against all of the 250 HP heroes, it was very annoying to land a full charge headshot on them but not get a kill, since the devs were purposely trying to remove one-shot kills in the game. But now there's a few characters Hanzo can one-shot in this new mobility class of hero, not just Widowmaker, right? Torbjorn gets a health change where the base goes down, but armor goes up. The devs say the shift in armor is to increase survivability against heroes which were most affected by armor's damage reduction, such as Tracer. I think Torb is like low-key one of the most reliable DPS in the game because he is good against armor with a barrage of spam damage that is very good against armor tanks. Very easy to play, and I didn't think he needed to be more durable. Very good character, pub stomper, and not so hard to play. I'm not sure we needed Tracer to be less effective against him. Kind of a strange change, in my opinion. On to support now. Juno has been added and will be in competitive play, but counts as one of these mobility heroes and will go to 225 HP. Here's a series of patch notes that change her from when you would have playtested her weeks ago. Hyper Ring's cooldown goes down and the deploy range is increased. The power of pulsar torpedoes rearranges a bit. The heal over time goes down for the damage and health impact to go up. Juno's ultimate orbital ray travels on the ground a bit faster now, and her primary fire rate of fire actually goes down, which I think is pretty significant because it's going to change not just her DPS, but more importantly, perhaps her heals per second, which was actually quite high. The devs say that the community feedback on Juno's trial was split between over and underpowered. On the stats side, she performed strongly in every category, but particularly overperformed in healing output over the course of a game. These changes are improving her utility while pulling back lightly on healing throughput, since we'd like her to launch in a strong state as players grow accustomed to her playstyle. there were also a few quality of life improvements that are listed elsewhere in the patch notes. We'll get to those later. Next is a change to Kiriko, who also now is a mobility class hero at 225 health. Kunai's critical chance multiplier has gone down yet again. It's only 2 now, but the damage at its base goes to 60, and recovery time has increased, meaning the rate of fire will take longer. The devs come through with kind of a hot take. Despite the perception of how powerful Kiriko feels to play against, she is a hero that consistently underperforms when it comes to winning games. However, she is a highly evasive hero that makes a lot of sense to be in the 225 health bracket. To help counterbalance the loss of health, we're smoothing out her damage dealing consistency by increasing the kunai's weapon's base damage and removing the enhanced critical multiplier. I think an interesting thing to note is that Kiri is often a hero that's played in mobility mirrors, as in you'll be going up against characters with 225 HP. I think their comments here are a little misleading because once I did the math on it, your headshots actually deal more now. So it was 112 per headshot. The crit multiplier doesn't matter. It's the raw damage number, right? So 60 times 2 will mean you're doing 120 headshots again, which while won't 2-tap 250 health point characters or 225, it will bring them to 5 HP. Still a lot of damage if you hit 2 headshots in a row now. So while Kiri is more brittle, she's also more lethal. I don't actually think these balance tunings change the mechanics of why Kiri is a harsh skill curve character where the top end of the player base dominates on her, and then most other players get more value winning on other heroes. I actually see a world where good Kiri players at the top tier just do more now. Like, did you need to face tank 25 more damage, or would you rather be able to deal more burst damage with your good aim? It will, however, change the personality of how Overwatch flows. A lot of this patch does that, where the game overall is taking a step back from its very brawly nature from the last few seasons, and there's certain characters that can be burst damage down, whereas before, Kiri as well was like another brawly kind of character. Illari, solar rifle maximum ammo reduced from 16 to 14, and captive sun projectile environment collision size has reduced from 0.15 to 0. The devs say Illari can deal a lot of damage over the course of a game, but may have too much ammo, given that her projectiles are easier to land hits due to their increased projectile size. We're also removing the extra environment collision size of her Captain Sun projectile so that it doesn't accidentally detonate early when firing at nearby walls and such. There is a similar fix to prevent her secondary fire beam from impacting a wall instead of allies near it. Illari's a controversial character right now, I feel, because from my perspective, I never want to see one on my team, but at the higher tiers of play, she's a dominant pick on her good maps or good matchups. The skill expression is kind of nuts, and her defensibility and lethality is super high. Personally, I'm even less of a fan of her kit than Kiriko, the one everyone complains about. I think they should look at Pylon and making it more interesting, because this concept of a raw heal stat number hero who also can duel is like kind of lame to me. Like, pick one. Why do supports have to do everything? Mercy goes down to 225 HP, but the Kinesis staff primary fire heal beam gets increased from 55 to 60 health per second, a number we have seen go up and down probably 100 times since launch, but the secondary fire boost damage has also increased from 25% to 30%. The devs say because Guardian Angel makes her evasive, 225 mobility class is what she now gets. I think this is a very scary change, because oftentimes where Mercy is good, she's impossible to track down, and the thing she's pocketing is dominating you. Now, it will dominate even harder, because there's a lot of characters with lower health overall now, and with 30% damage boost, those breakpoints will be even more severe. Moira's base health goes down to 225 as a mobility class character, but secondary fire damage has increased back up to 65 per second, which was quite a strong number, but maybe she'll struggle to survive at chip health as she used to be able to do rather easily with her 2 forms of healing on herself. Lucio as well goes down to 225, but primary fire damage goes back up to 22. The devs say that Lucio's playstyle gets him in closer ranges more often than other heroes in the category, so they're retuning the primary fire damage to go back so it's more effective at range before diving in. Keep in mind, Lucio, again, is one of those supports that you should consider when going up against mobility characters, because it'll help your static character speed boost away, or you can duel and mark a lot of DPS, and especially now at the 22 damage value, you are nuts as a diver up against a sniper class character, or will have a better time dueling a lot of the new nimble mobility class characters yourself. Kind of a nuts change. Yes, you fall faster too, but Lucio's projectiles are very forgiving with the new projectile size changes. I can't believe they're actually reverting this, but overall the game is going to a more lethal state now, with some health numbers dropping and some damage numbers increasing. Some changes to Lifeweaver. Pedal platform's duration only counts down while the platform is raised, and the platform now resets if no one is standing on it for 2 seconds. The duration has increased from 10 to 12 seconds, and the health of it has been reduced down to 300. Healing Blossom no longer reduces movement when at full charge, and the healing progress can now charge passively at a reduced rate, which means you'll have a healing blossom ready when applying DPS. Finally, allowing for more Lifeweaver offense. Rejuvenating Dash gets a nerf from 60 down to 45 healing, which I kind of like because he was way too tanky as he was. The devs say the pedal platform was too easy to waste if a player accidentally ran over it without the intended use of it. Now it resets down on the ground if no one's standing on it. We're also reducing its health so it's more reasonable counterplay to destroy the platform. Healing Blossom will now passively charge at a slower rate to enable players to swap between weapons without the fear of falling too far behind when swapping back to healing. So while you DPS, you'll have a heal shot ready. That's a pretty big buff. Somewhat quality of life changes to the pedal platform, but a nerf to his own self-survivability. Probably a good playstyle transfer overall, allowing for a bit more offense, a bit less punishment on going for it, reliability on the platform, and less of that free tankiness with Rejuvenating Dash. Guys, that's everything for the hero changes. There were some quality of life changes, overhauling the way Juno looks, sounds, and feels that they listed as well, but I think you'll figure that out when you play her again. Important updates to a couple game modes here. Flashpoint now has speed boosts when coming out of spawn, which will stop when taking damage or dealing damage, but you still can't go above the cap of 75%, so don't use your speed boost abilities on top of the Flashpoint speed boost. Importantly, on push, the push bot collision has been updated so players cannot contest from certain high ground positions. This is important because there was a lot of lame cheese spots where you could have your tank kind of hang out of a bridge or a window to touch the cart. We'll have to see which exact maps this applies to the most. There were a few bug fixes, but that's about it. Guys, let me know your thoughts on the patch in the comment section down below. Let us know how you're finding Season 12 as you start to play today. You can submit in replay codes of any role to the link in the description for Season 12. The complete tank guide I'm working on currently is going to be a monster, but we'll do ones for other roles as well as other individual character guides. If you enjoyed this video, please be sure to leave it a like, and don't forget to click subscribe and the bell icon to actually get notified when our videos come out. That's been it for me. I've been Frito for your Overwatch. I'll see you guys next time.